welcome to another episode of the Sparring Sessions podcast. My name's Dax. We're here today to break down UFC Iowa, Sandhagen versus Figueiredo, picks, predictions, preview, you name it. First, though, I got to bring my co-host. Not doing this alone, UFC Genie. How you doing today, Genie?
Pretty good. You know, it's always nice having good picks off of a fight night. You know, I went 11-3 yesterday, so got a little confidence boost coming into this
11-3. Wow. That's I think I went 8-6 last night. We'll jump into the UFC Kansas City recap here in a second, but yeah, stayed up pretty late last night. It was, I think the main event was finishing around 1 a.m., 12:30 for me or something. And then sometimes you stay up, you know, Dana White starts talking, maybe he announced a fight or two. Didn't get that, but yeah, and happy birthday to Eric Anders. I gotta, you know, my personal favorite fighter. I gotta shout him out today. Nah, I'm just kidding.
That's crazy.
Let's jump right into the recap last night. Fun fight card. Really good fight card. One of the better ones this year, I'd say. Kansas City went down a little late, but that's not that big a deal. 14 fights, you're gonna get a late card. In the main event, Ian Machado Gary.
I tried to tell you guys.
Good performance over Carlos Prates. If this were Pride rules, he wouldn't have won. I'll just say that. But he definitely won three rounds. I thought you could have scored it for Prates, actually. Or sorry, I thought you could have scored it a draw. Because I personally had him winning 2 rounds with a 10-8 in there. So
you thought the 5th round was 10-8 there?
I did. If that's, listen, I know 10-8s are thrown out pretty liberally these days, but I don't know. You get a guy doing I'm sorry, Will, if you're watching, you got a guy doing the Lionheart crawl. That feels like a 10-8 to me.
Hey, man, that's defensive masterpiece right there. That's what you got to do, man.
It was, you know, his reactionary takedowns were very good, Ian Gary. I thought that was like only going to it really to when he got hurt or busted up or trapped against the cage. I thought that was good. Yeah, you picked him, you know, your Irish brethren. Yeah, what'd you think of the rest of the card? Any fights that stood out? Any finishes? Well, there's one that hopefully stood out to you.
I mean, Ming Yang, man, that dude's a beast. He's a fucking warrior.
Yeah.
And I don't know what was going on with Anthony Smith after the fight, but it made for a funny moment. Nevertheless, you know, him flipping off a random dude in the crowd, Will.
And Meguru.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed I mean, obviously you got to talk about the stoppage, Randy Brown and Nicholas Dalby. They actually gave that fight of the night, which I don't hate. I mean, giving Dalby a few extra dollars for that extra brain damage he got. And I thought Malcolm Wellmaker tripped me up there. KO was obviously a great one. And I was actually pretty impressed with both Evan Elder and Gage Young. I thought that was a good fight. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I didn't hear you give Matt Schnell a shout out. You know, he came back from retirement, showed off adversity. You know, he escaped so many submission attempts in this, and you know, that ground and pound. Oh, look at that ground and pound for Matt Schnell. No, it was
exactly what I thought that fight was going to be. Yeah, that was a fight for sure. But let's jump out of that fight and into UFC Iowa. Something hopefully, actually that fight was pretty exciting. I don't want to share on too much. But yeah, we're going down UFC Iowa, Sandhagen versus Figueiredo, going down in the Wells Fargo Arena, Des Moines, Iowa. USA, 7 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Eastern for the main card. Pretty late. I don't love it, especially with 6 fights. 12 fights total. 8 out of 24 fighters are ranked. So that's pretty good. Pretty much held together. Trevor Peek and Jung Young Lee fights off. Trevor Peek broke his leg or something doing. What was he doing? Was it jumping rope? I think something like that. Something silly.
Something like that.
And then Chito Vera and Bautista got rescheduled to UFC 216, if I remember correctly. Yeah, pretty decent fight card. What do you give him the card overall as a rating?
I'll give it a 7 out of 10. 6.5 maybe.
Yeah, I'm going like a B minus. B minus.
Yeah.
It's a little worse than last week's card. I think the pacing is going to be awful. Like the prelims of Kansas City went by. I mean, they snuck, what was it, 8 or 9 fights into 3 hours, and then here you're getting 6 fights in 3 hours. So I mean, that's kind of going to show you.
Oh, it's going to be talking.
Yeah, a lot of talking, a lot of maybe they replay the Anthony Smith montage.
Oh my God.
But yeah, we'll jump right into it. First fight of the night, women's flyweight. Oh, we're gonna spend a while on this one, aren't we, Jeannie? Juliana Miller plus 205 versus Ivana Petrović minus 250. There we go. Petrović is 1-2 in the UFC, coming off a split decision loss to Jamie Lynn Horth. On the other side, Juliana Miller, also 1-2 in the UFC, 2-fight losing streak. Most recently got KO'd by Luana Santos. That's not something you want to get have on your record. Petrović has 4 inches of reach over Juliana Miller. Jeannie, we'll start with you. Titillating fight, I would say. This one, I thought about this all night. A little bit of Friday too. Who are you picking here?
I mean, Ivana Petrović, you got to go with.
Yeah.
I don't think Luana Santos knockout. She's a beast. She's an absolute warrior. She's gonna be a future champion, I'm sure.
Really?
So, Luana Santos, yeah, of course. Come on, put some respect on her name.
Yeah.
But Veronica Hardy. They're not terrible losses, but it's just how Juliana Miller looks. She just has not shown anything.
Yep, only UFC win.
Decision.
Only UFC win is against Brogan Walker. And that was technically a contender series, or not contender series, Ultimate Fighter. I don't know why they count those as UFC fights, but they do. On the other side, Petrović, only UFC win Na Liang. So better, I guess, slightly. All right, let's move on.
I have some words about Na Liang that I will not say.
The pick is Petrović. We're not throwing a ton of money on minus 250 though. Heavyweights, Thomas Petersen minus 250 versus Dontel Mays plus 205. Another one of those. Not sure why the odds are like this, but they are. Mays 4-6 in the UFC with 1 no contest, 2-fight losing streak, coming off a heel hook loss to Walter Walker, the GOAT. Petersen on the side, 1-2 in the UFC. Bunch of winning records so far on this card. Coming off a KO against Shamil Gaziev at that was UFC Saudi, right? Yeah. Mays has 5 inches of height and 7 inches of reach over Petersen. I really wanted to pick Mays here. I really did. And then I realized that both of these guys kind of sucked. And I'm like, who has the better cardio here? Because this is probably going to be a sloppy heavyweight fight, right? This is probably going to be cage wrestling at its finest, distance jabbing, and just looking at the takedown. I mean, Thomas Petersen has 100% takedown defense, 46% accuracy. On the other side, Mays 57% defense. Petersen averages about 2.6 takedowns a minute, or sorry, not a minute, Jesus, 2.6 takedowns a fight. He's not Marab out here. A little bit more active, a little smaller, but I think he can win this just by, it being a heavyweight fight. So I guess I'll go Petersen here. Not happy about it though. What about you?
I was real close to going Dontel Mays.
Yeah.
Like I might still end up flip-flopping throughout the week. Who knows? I mean, the 7-inch reach advantage is a lot, and he has a lot of experience, and Thomas Petersen's coming off of a pretty bad knockout. But I mean, they obviously see something we don't. He's gotten takedowns off in a couple of these fights, and his ground game isn't like incredible or anything. So maybe he can just lay on top of him. Who knows what really goes on in this fight? But man, I mean, a plus 200 for Don'Tale Mayes is enticing, but it is just like unranked heavyweights. It's like these guys aren't that good. Maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself there.
Yeah, you know my rule. I don't generally bet money on unranked women's fights. I'm thinking about adding heavyweights in there. Just coincidentally or colloquially, who do you think has the better cardio here?
Probably Don'Tale Mayes, I'd say, to be honest. I don't know.
I have no idea. I think we're going to see, though. I think both of theirs is going to suck. But, could be fun. Could be fun. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. Next fight, I think this one will be fun. I think we'll get a fun fight here. Quang versus Gaston Bolanos. Bolanos is minus 162. On the other side is plus 136. These had surprised me a good bit. Bolanos is 2-1 in the UFC. That also surprised me. I did not think he was 2-1. 6-3 in Bellator. He's coming off a unanimous decision win over Cortavius Romeus, so didn't age too well. Lee on the other side, 0-2 in the UFC. 2-fight losing streak. Before that, he was undefeated on the regional scene. Most recently, he got KO'd by Long Zhao in the third round at UFC. Was that UFC Macau? Yeah, UFC Macau. Interesting fight. This one is this is you, right? Who are you going with? Pretty low ranked bantamweights. Who you got here?
Gaston Bolanos. I think he's looked pretty good recently. Like the Cortavius Romeus fight, you can say what you want about Romeus, but it was a really dominant fight. And I feel like Romeus was maybe the favorite going into that fight, and Bolanos kind of silenced the noise about him. And I mean, Marcus McGee, that's not a bad loss at all. He's a beast, to say the least. This dude's on a roll. He just beat Jonathan Martinez in his last fight. That's not a bad loss at all. Mm-hmm. Quang Lee, I mean, losing to Long Zhao and Chris Gutierrez in a bad loss, but Long Zhao, I don't really rate any of these road to UFC guys. So I'm going to go with Gaston Bolanos. I could see a finish here, probably KO or submission. Like Gaston Bolanos is, he's got heat behind his hands, and he's got good submission skills, but probably, no, I will take Bolanos by finish. I will.
You think finish? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to pick Lee. I thought he had more success. Granted, this was must have been 4 a.m. for us when he fought Long Zhao at UFC Macau. So maybe I was tired, but I thought he was winning that fight until he got KO'd. But looking at the scorecards, all three judges had, or I guess Zhao Long up 2018 going in that third round. So maybe I'm remembering
that takedowns off, and then he just got a KO, something like that.
I guess I'll go Bolanos. I don't think either guy's that good. Maybe I'm just getting my enjoying Quang Lee in LFA glasses on. He beat some good guys, but maybe not good, but decent guys. I don't know. I guess I'll go Bolanos here. Should be a fun fight though. I think these guys will bring it. Next up, women's strawweight, ranked women's strawweights. Number 9, Marina Rodriguez, plus 225 versus number 12 ranked Gillian Robertson, minus 278. Rodriguez will start with 7-5-2 in the UFC on a 2-fight losing streak. Most recently, that split decision loss to Yasmin Lucindo at UFC 307. Other side, Gillian Robertson, 12-6 in the UFC on a 3-fight winning streak. Most recently, unanimous decision win over Yana Pinheiro. All of these have been a strawweight. Let's see. Both of these women have pretty short reaches. Rodriguez, 9 years older than Gillian Robertson. She's 38. Give me Gillian Robertson. I mean, Marina Rodriguez, she's lost, 4 or 5, and the only win in there is Michelle Waterson Gomez, and If that wasn't her retirement fight, no, it wasn't, but it was the second to last before they gave her a video package too. And I mean, losing to Jessica Andrade, losing to Yasmin Lucinda, Verna, Amanda Lemos, these are all like fine losses, you know, but I personally, I'd bring Gillian Robertson. I'd pick her over Yasmin Lucinda and Jessica Andrade today, you know. And she gets the takedowns. I think she's not going to do that well on the feet, but maybe she can, you know, kind of just get in her face and not have to worry about getting KO'd, because Marina Rodriguez doesn't really KO people. So yeah, give me the surging Gillian Robertson resurgence, I guess, because she had a peak and then she kind of dropped off. I'm assuming you're going with your countrywoman there.
I'm going with Gillian Robertson, of course. The Savage. Marina Rodriguez, I mean, 1-4 in her last 5 fights.
Yeah.
Gillian Robertson, she's really good grappling. And how did Marina Rodriguez lose her last fight? Listen, Marina Rodriguez can't even win decisions when she should win. She loses these by split decision when she should win them. So yeah. Gillian Robertson, when she has a good grappling base, she's going to be able to get takedowns, get control time, maybe threaten some submissions. Marina's never been submitted, but Gillian is going to get control time off and win this fight by decision, the same way Lucindo did.
Yeah, I agree. Next one, this is probably one of the tougher ones I had picking on this fight card. This one, I thought I knew exactly what was going to happen, and then I kind of watched some tape and I looked at the stats, and I don't know. We'll see. Middleweights, Ryan Loder plus 250 versus Azamat Bekoev minus 320. Start with Bekoev. He is 1-0 in the UFC. He made his short notice debut against Zachary Reese at UFC 311. Destroyed him. You were pretty high on Zach Reese on that fight, if I remember correctly. Thought he could. I don't remember exactly. Do you think he could KO him in the first or something like that? He just beat too much.
That's misinformation.
Yeah,
there's misinformation. Fake news.
On the other side, Loder's 1-0 ground and pound finish over Robert Valentin to win the Ultimate Fighter. Do they still have a trophy? I haven't watched the Ultimate Fighter in a long time. They probably still have a trophy at least. Maybe not the $100,000 contract that they used to get. But yeah, so he was on the Ultimate Fighter and then won that season. 4 inches of reach for Loder over Bekoev. Yeah, this one's you, Jeannie. Tough one, right? Was this as tough for you as it was for me?
This is kind of tough. I don't know. I mean, I picked against Bekoev in his last fight, but that's more because I'm a big fan of Zachary Reese. Yeah. Ryan Loder. I think I picked Robert Valentine, and it was like a really terrible pick in hindsight.
Yeah.
So this is like a pretty tough one. I picked against both of these guys in their last fight. And Bekoev's a big favorite here, so it is enticing. It makes me want to pick Loder because he has the reach advantage as well. But I don't know. I guess I'll side with the odds makers. You know, I don't know enough about this fight to really give a strong opinion, so I'll just say, you know, I'll side with the odds makers. They obviously know Bekoev has probably some sort of upside here over Ryan Loder that I don't. So
yeah. I'm going Bekoev. I thought I was going to pick Ryan Loder coming in. I mean, he's probably the better wrestler, right? He was a collegiate wrestler.
Yeah.
And then I looked at his fights on the Ultimate Fighter, and his striking, I just can't. It gave me the ick. His striking gave me the ick. And you say he has a reach advantage. Listen, Azamat Bekoev has not beaten the level. Like, maybe Zach Reese is on the level of Ryan Loder. Probably not at this point. Lucas Fernando, maybe. Dylan Bugcut. But he's beaten guys who are UFC caliber, or at least, you know, Dana White Contender Series caliber. And he's knocked out on the feet guys who are not, like Chauncey Foxworth, 19-9, not UFC caliber by any means, but he's still a good guy. And Azamat Bekoev, the wrestler, the grinder, kind of just flattened him on the feet. That was a crazy knockout. Am I worried about Bekoev's defensive wrestling? Yes. I think if he gets taken down, that's kind of the way he's going to lose here. I don't think he was on the feet. That being said, I went back and watched the loss that kind of I looked at the most was against this guy Magomed Razul Gasanov. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's an ACA. He is the best fighter outside the UFC, I think. UFC and PFL. And he kind of took him down and beat him on the feet. So I don't know. I guess I'll go Bekoev here, but I would like for him to win because I'm a fan of his from LFA, but I don't know. We'll see, Moving up. Oh, there we go. Moving up in the card, last fight on the prelims, ranked bantamweights. Ranked women's bantamweights, number 10, Yana Santos, plus 102 versus number 11 ranked Miesha Tate, minus 122. Battle of the, I want to just call them battle of the vets here. Foxy Yana Santos, that is her name. I did not just call her that. 5-5 in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision win to Chelsea Chandler. Granted, that's not looking too good these days. Miesha Tate on the other side is 7-6 in the UFC. She is a former champion, and she's coming off a rear naked choke win over Julia Avila over a year ago, December of 2023. Both these women pretty inactive. They've had kids. They've had injuries, etc. 35 and 38 on the board here for their ages. And give me Miesha Tate. I was pretty surprised at these odds. I think she can. How do I say this? I think she has more in the tank at this point because this isn't a fight of like who's the better technical or who at their peak is the best. I mean, I'd pick Miesha Tate at the peak probably 10 times out of 10, but I think at this point they've both been fighting infrequently enough, and Santos has been losing to Carol Hossa, I think, and Holly Holm and Reinier Ivana. I think that Miesha Tate can kind of replicate their game plan, and a win over Julia Avila kind of just looks better than a win over Chelsea Chandler to me. Granted, am I confident? No, but one thing that kind of pushed me over, 42% takedown defense for Yana Santos. I think that Miesha Tate can get her down at least a little bit. You're shaking your head. Are you going?
I was shaking my head about the takedown defense. I was just in agreement about it. I was just like, that's not a good stat, the 42%. Miesha Tate, I think, she can definitely replicate the Julia Avila fight and Rena Aldana's game plan, against Yana Santos, getting her to the ground. Yeah. That's it. Miesha Tate's ground game is definitely better than Yana Santos. Like, this is not a question.
I hope so.
Like, Miesha's going to be able to get her to the mat. And, as you said, like, they both don't have much here, but, like, Yana Santos, like, what's her game compared to Miesha Tate? Miesha Tate's, like, just a really good wrestler and grappler. Yana Santos, I don't think she really stacks up.
No. It's one of those fights. I wouldn't be shocked either way, though. It's just who's older at this point, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to another fight. You got one old guy in here, not two, only one. Lightweights, Jeremy Stephens. Yes, that Jeremy Stephens, plus 370 to Mason Jones, minus 485. Yes, that Mason Jones. Stephens first, 15-18 with one no contest in the UFC. This is going to be his second stint. He was in PFL, and then he went to box Jose Aldo and Chris Avila, and then bare knuckle to box Eddie Alvarez and Jimmy Rivera. Beat Eddie Alvarez, actually. So, I don't know. MMA, he's on a one-fight losing streak to Natan Schultz in 2022. But he's 3-fight BKFC winning streak, so I don't know how you want to look at that. He's coming back to the UFC for one fight. I don't know why. Maybe it's just they needed some local talent on the card. I think he's from Des Moines, Iowa. There you go. I was going to say Kansas, but it's all the same thing. But yeah, he's coming back and he's fighting Mason Jones, who is also returning to the UFC. He got cut for some reason after going 1-2 with 1-0 contest. And he's on a 4-fight win streak, all in Cage Warriors against some pretty good guys. So this is kind of a weird fight. That being said, Steven's 38. He's 8 years older than Mason Jones, despite them both coming back to the UFC. So this one is – what is this? Is this me?
Oh,
geez.
I think this is me. I think you started the Miesha Tate
one. Yeah. This one's you. All right. Good deal.
I wanted to pick Jeremy Stephens just for the fucks, man. But Mason Jones is pretty good. I'm surprised he's a -500. That's like a pretty strong line. I was expecting maybe like -300, -250. I was hoping for at least. But no, the odds makers do not want us making money on this fight. I see Mason Jones winning this one. Jeremy Stephens is 38 years old, and as you said, he lost his last MMA fight. And Mason Jones, man, his last loss is Ludovic Klein, Mike Davis before that. Like, these are not bad losses. These are like pretty good names that are still going on runs today.
Yeah. I agree.
He's on a 4-fight win streak right now.
Yep, 4-fight win streak.
I could see a finish for Mason Jones. I could see a submission, or maybe he knocks out a Jeremy Stephens, connects with his chin, and a 38-year-old Jeremy Stephens can't take it anymore. But, I'll go Mason Jones decision.
Mason Jones decision. If they were at featherweight, I don't know if I trust him against the hardest hitting featherweight in the UFC, but no. I mean, this is Mason Jones. My only question is, will he? I think if he takes him down, he wins in a heartbeat, because that's how. I mean, we saw. Was that 4 years ago? Gamrot just took him down and converted him in like 30 seconds or something. That's how Natan Schultz won. And I think if Mason Jones actually shoots, like he averages around three takedowns a fight, and Jeremy Stephens gets taken down in his fights. So I think if he shoots, he can win this pretty easily. I think he can win on the feet too. But I mean, I'd pick if you like let me talk to him and I'm like, hey, Mason Jones, you're just gonna shoot and get this guy out of there, and he's like, yeah, I'd pick him round one submission in a heartbeat. But I don't know, maybe decision, man. Maybe decision. We'll see. All right, bantamweights. Cameron Smotherman +145 versus Serhiy Sidey -175. Pronunciation, I'm getting all twisted up here in the names. Smotherman first, 1-0 in the UFC. He actually lost his Contender Series bout by KO, but did the UFC a favor stepping in. He beat Jake Hagley on what I believe was short notice.
I think it was a week's notice.
Week's notice. Yeah, he was supposed to fight Heastand. Lost to Champarlampos Gregorio, on the Contender Series. On the other side, Sidey is 1-1 in the UFC. Most recent fight, a victory over split decision over Garrett Armfield. So pretty good win. Sidey's got 3 inches of reach over Smotherman. I'm going Cameron Smotherman here. I'm picking, I think, my first underdog. Yeah, my first underdog. I think he's got the power advantage here. Sidey hasn't really impressed me. He looked decent in his Garrett Armfield win. He looked decent in the Ramon Tavares win too, but I don't know. He kind of showed off some bad fight IQ there. And the only way we've kind of seen Smotherman really lose is he just got caught on the Contender Series. Sidey's got power. He got a lot of knockouts, but I don't know if that's going to translate here. And I don't know. I just like Cameron Smotherman too. I think he's a fun fighter. All of his fights are exciting, and he usually gets a finish or gets finished. So let me get the dog here. Are you going? Is he technically Canadian, or is he?
Yeah, I mean technically, but yeah, whatever
The
you want to
Canadian?
call him.
Are you going with the Canadian Ukrainian?
I'm going with Cameron Smotherman in this one as well.
Hmm.
You know, Surrey City. I mean, I think I had Garrett Armfield winning that fight.
Did you? Let me check MMA decisions.
I mean, the Ramon Tavares fight I was upset about at the time. I was like, oh, he totally should have won that fucking fight. But when I rewatched, I was like, Ramon Tavares probably landed the better strikes in that second fight that they had. And I mean, yeah, Smotherman is impressive. Like the Jake Hadley win, he stepped on short notice and got it done. And now he has a full training camp against Surrey City. Yeah, I'm going to go with Cameron Smotherman. I think I could confidently say he... I don't know about confidently. No, I won't go that far. I won't go that far. But I'll say Cameron Smotherman by decision is going to be the pick.
All right. Yeah, City versus Armfield. All but one of the media members scored it for Armfield. And on the other side, it's got to be 20 MMA members scored it for City over Tavares when Tavares beat City at UFC 297, which you were in attendance for. I was. There you go. So yeah, Cameron Smotherman's the pick. Maybe dog of the week. We'll see. Next up, bantamweights. Sticking with bantamweights, number 15 ranked Montel Jackson -205 versus Daniel Marcos +170. This was my fight I was looking forward to the most from last week. Start with Jackson first, 8-2 in the UFC, currently on a 5-fight winning streak. Most recently, that 18-second KO of Damon Blackshear back in last June. On the side, Marcos 17-0, 4-0 in the UFC with a no contest in there. Groin shot, I believe, against Richie Long. So he's on a 4-fight UFC winning streak and obviously 17-fight total winning streak. Most recently coming off that split decision win over Adrian Yanez, which was a little contentious. I remember that one. Marcus has had a lot of pretty close decisions. Davey Grant one comes to mind as well. But yeah, Montel Jackson has 5.5 inches of reach. Sorry, 6.5 inches of reach. Geez, over Marcos. Are you going with the bigger favorite here? I thought this would be a pick'em. I'll be honest.
Honestly, I did think it was going to be closer in the odds, and that might sway me away from Montel Jackson. But I do think Montel Jackson's stand-up is better than Daniel Marcos.
You think?
Recently, we've seen. I'm trying to pull up the stats right now, but that Richie Lang fight, I'm pretty sure he was losing before he fouled and got it a no contest. I'm pretty sure. Let me.
I think he was.
Oh no! Okay, no, I'm wrong. But Montel Jackson, his stand-up's incredible. He has a 6-inch reach advantage in this one, and like Daniel Marcos usually wins these fights off of just like leg kicking and getting a decision win, and like. Rana Yaya, I don't rate that as a knockout. Damon Blackshear, he did also knock out, but Montel Jackson's looked really good. And he knocked out, didn't he knock out Damon Blackshear before?
Oh yeah, his most recent victory. Quick too. I don't know. This one's a tough one for me.
Oh yeah, okay. I had the wrong tab open up, and it was. I thought it was saying that the Daniel Marcos had beat Damon Blackshear as well, but no, it was.
Oh no.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The Damon Blackshear win's incredible, and I don't really rate the Rana Yaya win that much, but Daniel Marcos hasn't really impressed me recently. He's kind of slowing down. I feel like one of these times he's gonna lose this win streak, and Montel Jackson's stand-up's good enough to beat him.
I'm going to disagree. I think I'm taking Daniel Marcos here. Maybe it's just the odds, but the power of Montel Jackson's kind of been talked about, but I think Daniel Marcos has a really good chin. I mean, he got hit with some shots by Davey Grant and Adrian Yanez. I was there for the Yanez fight. Yeah, actually, I was. That's crazy. And I think he beat Simon Oliveira. Jeannie, come on, the GOAT. No, I'm just fucking with you. Yeah, I think he can make it dirty. I think Montel Jackson has gas before, and losing to like Ricky Simone and Brett Johns are good wins or good losses to have, but he's not like knocking me out of the water. JP Baez, Julio Arce, Ronnie Yaya, like these are not knockouts that are really impressing me. The Damon Blackshear one really impressed me, but I don't know. Maybe I don't want to just say fluke, but it was a flash knockout. Flash knockout. There we go. He didn't put away JP Baez. Let me put it that way. And the Damon Blackshear one, he just caught him right on the chin, and maybe Blackshear was warming up. So I think Marco's going to make this dirty and kind of take a split decision. Should be a good fight, though. I'm excited. I like both of these guys a lot. Yeah. Moving on to what might not be a good fight. Welterweight, Santiago Ponzinibbio. Yes, he's still around. Plus 105 versus Daniel Rodriguez, minus 125. Yes, he is also still around. Ponzinibbio, 12-7 in the UFC. Most recently coming off a KO over Carlston Harris. I think I picked against him in that fight. I think I was pretty high on Carlston Harris. On the other side, D-Rod, 8-4 in the UFC, 1-0 in Bellator, coming off a split decision win over Alex Morono. This one's me. I don't know. Both these guys are so old. This is another one. It's like the Miesha Tate fight. It's who's falling off more, I guess I'm going Santiago Ponzinibbio here. I mean, he could mix in some wrestling, right? If anybody's going to mix in some wrestling, it's going to be him. And D-Rod got grappled by Kelvin Gastelum. He has like higher level losses than Santiago Ponzinibbio, but I don't know. Alex Morono looks pretty gassed these days, and Ponzinibbio, he's losing to like Muslim Salikov and Kevin Holland, good losses. Carlston Harris, he knocked out Alex Morono when that was a comeback win, I know, but like if Daniel Rodriguez isn't putting him away, I don't know. This is just a weird, janky old fight, and I guess I'm going with the guy who has proven me wrong more. I'll put it that way, and who I have not lost massive amounts of money betting on or against. So, yeah, give me Ponzi scheme.
I'm going with Daniel Rodriguez in this fight here. I don't feel right picking Santiago Ponzinibbio. I did get it wrong last fight. I remember Will was pretty high on Ponzinibbio in his last fight. I do remember that, and I bet he's going to be high on him in this one too. But I feel like Daniel Rodriguez, he looked pretty good against Alex Morono. It was less about Alex Morono looking. It says it's a split decision, but I think it was less about Alex Morono looking bad and more like Daniel Rodriguez showed up in that one after he lost to Kelvin Gastelum. And I mean, losses to Ian Gary, Neil Magny, and Kelvin Gastelum, like those names are definitely better than Muslim Salikov and Kevin Holland, Michel Pereira as well after he lost to Abus Magomedov last night. I don't know. I just can't pick in my right mind. I just can't go with Santiago Ponzinibbio. I see 75% of Topology is picking Santiago Ponzinibbio, most by KO. I just don't see it, man.
You can't feel good on either side here. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Can't feel good on either side. Jeez. No, I'm just now seeing. I forgot about this. I had to refresh my page. Tuco and Junior Tapo was supposed to be on this card. That fell off. Jeez. All right.
What's that fight happening now?
I've heard rumors that Tuco's already rebooked, but I'm not gonna spill anything yet. We'll wait for the official announcements to come out.
When did that fall off? I thought that was so. I didn't even know that fell off.
Yeah, I didn't either until recently. Our friend Will texted me, or texted our group chat about that.
Yeah.
I think somebody posted on their story or something. So bummer. Anyway, next up, middleweights, number 13 ranked middleweight co-main event, number 13 ranked Reinier de Ridder plus 220 versus Bo Nickal minus 270. This one, odds really surprised me. The Ritter is 2-0 in the UFC, coming off a rear choke over Kevin Holland. Before that, he went 7-2 and won championship, and he was the champion there. Double champ there, if I'm not wrong. Let me just double check that. Yeah, he was the heavyweight champ and the light heavyweight champ. Look at that. Bo Nickal on the other side, 4-0 in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision win over Paul Craig that I fell asleep to. Before that, he was a 4-time NCAA wrestling champion. So pretty good there. 2 inches of reach for RDR, and he is 5 years older at 34 years old. A little bit of height, too. This one's you, Jeannie. I'm kind of glad you're going first here. This is a tough one to pick, huh? Who are you going with?
Listen.
Oh, boy. Oh, no.
Do you remember RDR versus, you're going to love this one, Anatoly Malikin? And
yes, I do. Are you comparing Bo Nickal to Anatoly Malikin?
I'm just saying, do you not think Bo Nickal can deny some takedowns?
Yeah? Where are you going with this?
RDR gassed pretty hard against Gerald Mearshart. He looked like he was about to pop a lung at the end of that fight. He was on his back even after he submitted Gerald Mearshart. It looked like he needed some oxygen. And I mean, it's Kevin Holland. It's Kevin Holland. I'm just saying he gassed really hard in that fight against Malikian.
Are you saying Bo Nickal is going to keep it on the feet here?
Probably. I don't think he's going to be taking down RDR. And Bo Nickal, he stayed on the feet against Paul Craig.
I guess. I don't know. That was such a weird fight.
I don't really rate RDR's striking that much. It's not like I'm not saying Bo Nickal's striking is incredible either. He just kind of just is an overhand merchant. But RDR's striking, as you said earlier, it gives me the ick.
Yeah. Both of their striking. If this turns into a striking fight, I'll be incredibly upset. Let me put it that way. So your official pick is Bo Nickal then, right?
Yeah, I'm going with Bo Nickal. I'm siding with the odds makers here.
I guess I'll go Bo Nickal then. Listen, I was a huge fan of his. I'm a wrestling guy, college wrestling guy. I was a huge fan of his, and I was so excited when he came over to MMA. But then he just kind of rushed him. 7 fights in, he's fighting for a number 13 spot. RDR, I think RDR is the better striking. I'm going to say that. He knocked down Gerald Mearshart, and he, granted, he didn't want to keep it on the feet versus Kevin Holland. He's not a dumbass. That's the other thing. I think he's an intelligent fighter. Even if he gasses, he has some KOs. He has some okay striking. And I guess I'd be worried if, maybe Bo Nickal shoots a shitty takedown. But I think there's going to be a Bo Nickal hold him down for 3 rounds type of deal. So I'll go with Bo Nickal. I don't know if I'm going to be super excited watching this fight. These guys are 2 of my favorites, but
Bo Nickal has not been impressing me recently.
This one can be pretty boring. Could be a good fight. It could be. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind a few more times on this if it's going to be exciting or not. But let's move on. Let's move on to the main event. And this is going to be a great fight. There's no way about it. This is going to be a phenomenal fight. Number 4 ranked Cory Sandhagen minus 455 versus number 5 ranked Deiveson Figueiredo plus 350. Main event, bantamweights, two beloved fan favorites. Sandhagen is 10-4 in the UFC, coming off that unanimous decision loss to Umar Nurmagomedov back in August of last year. He fought for the interim title. He was not a former champion. On the other side, Figueiredo was a former champion at flyweight. 2 times over. He beat He beat Joey B, and then he lost it to Moreno, and then he beat Moreno. And most recently, he lost to Peter Yan at aforementioned UFC Macau. He is 13-4 and won the UFC. And yeah, I thought Sandhagen was going to have a bigger reach. He's only got a 2-inch reach advantage over Figgy, 6 inches of height, but no, only 2 inches of reach. That one surprised me because I think Sandhagen is just such a bigger guy. I'm going Sandhagen here. I think he can kind of do the Peter Yan game plan against Figgy. Figgy looked very good, but kind of slow against Yan. I thought that was the first time he really looked slow at bantamweight. Maybe Jan's just super fast, but I think Sandhagen's intelligent enough, like fight IQ wise, and I don't want to say long enough, but like he can mix in his wrestling. He can mix in. He mixes the different phases of striking a lot better. I think, like, punching into a trip or punching into a combo. I think he just has to watch the power, but we haven't really seen Sandhagen KO'd or really even. I mean, he got knocked down versus Peter Yan, right? But I don't really think he's been knocked down besides that. So besides the power on Figgy's side, that's kind of I don't think he comes in here and wrestles him. So I'm going Sandhagen. Don't love the odds, but I'd favor him. I'd maybe bet on him, maybe closer to minus 250 or something like that. But here, I'm gonna have to turn it down.
I turned it down.
You turning down minus 450, or are you taking Sandhagen? Your hair brethren.
I'm worried about this one. I could see Figueiredo getting it done. I can't pick him in my right mind. I cannot pick him. I think Sandhagen could get takedowns here even as well, which he's shown in a couple of these fights. I mean, I could see Figueiredo also getting takedowns here, but on the feet, Sandhagen on average lands 2 more strikes a minute than Figueiredo does, 5 compared to 2.9. Mm-hmm. And I just think his striking is going to be a bit more crisp. He's a bit more dynamic, can throw a bit more combos out. I think he'll be leading the numbers, and that is going to be the more important thing in this fight is the numbers than like control time or anything. I don't see Figueiredo getting a submission or a finish of that sort. So it's going to come down to a decision, and Cory Sandhagen's going to win in the numbers. So Cory Sandhagen decision is going to be the pick, I think.
Yeah. Without looking, I haven't looked at the odds yet. What do you think the over under 4.5 rounds on this is?
Over 4.5, I'd say, is probably minus 130. 250.
Jeez.
Minus 250?
Yeah, that's a crazy line.
Ew.
Should be a good fight, though. I can see this easily getting fight of the night. These guys are pretty exciting and pretty bluff, too. So, yeah, that's UFC Iowa. Decent card. Got a lot going down in the regional scene, so I'm going to run through that real quick. Non-UFC action. Got some more than just MMA this week, so that's fun. Glory has a fight going down Thursday at 7 a.m. Here in the U.S., actually. It's going to be in Miami. Maybe I'll take a drive down. Actually, no, that's pretty far. Chico Quasi versus Tijani Beztati for a rematch for Quasi's welterweight championship. Beztati was the lightweight champion, so pretty good rematch there. PFL is going down Thursday at 7 p.m. In Orlando. A lot of Florida action this week. Okay card, I'll say. It's light heavyweights and heavyweights. So you got you got your Phil Davis, Rob Wilkinson, Moldovsky, Simeon Powell, Alexander Romanov making his PFL debut against Tim Johnson. So that's going to be interesting. Wait a second. Rodrigo Nascimento is in the PFL now? What? Do you know this?
When did he get dropped?
I don't know. Probably after the Romanov fight that he lost. But yeah, I guess he's in the PFL now in the tournament. So, all right. That's going down Thursday at 7 p.m. on ESPN. So if you want some MMA. Karate Combat Friday at noon on YouTube. Sam Alvey and versus Tyrone Spong in the main event for the, I think, as the super heavyweight championship, 265 co-main event. Muhammad Mokaev fighting some dude from Kazakhstan that he's going to submit in three minutes or so. Uriah Faber's got a card going down, UFC Fight Pass, 5 p.m. on Friday. Nobody you'd really know, but could be some good fights, maybe some Contender Series guys coming up. BKFC Clearwater, another 4-hour card. Friday, 7 p.m. on Triller. It's a regional card. They don't really have names that definitely not you and I would know, but maybe we got some BKFC fans out there. One fight night on Prime 31, Friday 8 p.m. Amazon Prime. Obviously, you got Ty Rotolo grappling. You got Nongo fighting Kong Thoreni. Probably butcher that. Liam Nolan. So, okay card. If you again, these are all just if you want some fights on. Turn on May for our Aussie fans. 2 a.m. Eastern. No idea what that is in Australia. UFC Fight Pass. Niza FC, 5 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. Hussein Amadov in the main event for, I hope he's the main event for their heavyweight bout. And then last but not least, we got Canelo versus some guy I've never heard of because I don't follow boxing. William Stull fighting Saturday at noon in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Obviously, this is a Canelo card, so I don't know anybody else on the card, but somebody will probably be talking about it on Twitter. I'm sure I'll get updates if I don't watch it. So, yeah. Next up, last but not least, we will go for our UFC 315 preview. Going down in Quebec, Montreal, Quebec, Canada, May 10th. Pay-per-view, main event, Bilal Muhammad versus Jekta Manolena for the UFC Welterweight Championship. And you know how we do it on this show. Jeannie, you get to pick one fight. Rumor has it that we're going to get a Jeannie appearance in the arena. Is that confirmed?
That is confirmed officially.
Official.
The UFC Jeannie will be live in attendance. UFC 315.
I love it. And what's the one fight that you're? I'm going to take away the main event. I don't think you were picking that, but take away the main event. What's one fight you're looking forward to?
Listen. Joel Alvarez versus Benoit Saint-Denis, man. Holy fucking shit. I cannot wait for this fight. They are sending Benoit Saint-Denis out there as a sacrificial lamb to the slaughter. Joel Alvarez, I think, is going to just obliterate this dude. Cannot wait. It'll be a really fun fight, though, I think, no matter how it goes. That is what I'm looking for. That's my fight of the night, I think.
That's probably mine too, but just to pick a different one, I guess I'll go Jose Aldo. I mean, Ayman Zahabi's probably going to just hold him down, pull a Bautista here, Mario Bautista, but it's a Jose Aldo fight. He's Jose Aldo. What are you going to do? He's a legend and always fun to watch. Usually fun to watch. Maybe not super recently. But yeah, the rumors are saying that you're also going to get a MMA Roundup appearance in the arena there. So rumors are saying some things. Some other people maybe we get a MMA prospect sighting. Maybe no, I can't confirm that one. I can't confirm, but sources say. So yeah, that's UFC 315. Hoping to get a special guest on. I'll tell you after, but a pretty special guest, I'd say. And yeah, that's UFC Iowa. That's a week ahead. Thanks so much for joining me, Jeannie. Hope you enjoy the fights, even if they are a little late this week. And thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the fights as well. Have a great week.